Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT, and you can refer to me as Miss T. Y'all saw the thumbnail. Let me get my banners up. Y'all saw the thumbnail. Ryan and Oscar are scared. They're scared of little old pit bull Cruz. Can you imagine that? Well, let's turn to.
The new jam, and I got the goddamn, my name is Sam, and I don't need him, but just wine is
Welcome back.
Everybody, check out the information while you're moving in the party. Back to the funk, you new jack tracks.
Make sure y'all hit the like and subscribe button on your way in.
I'd rather be singing with y'all instead of alone. I thought that you knew, so break it on down one more time, just like we used to.
Hold up, it's DC in the house right now. It's DC in the house now. Oh, where? It's DC in the house now. I can't hear you. Where at? It's New York in the house now.
Let me hear you.
It's New York in the house now. I can't hear you. Where at? It's New York in the house now. I can't hear you. Where at? Oh, where we gonna get to the good part? I'm Virginia in the house now.
Yeah.
It's Virginia in the house now. I can't hear you. Where at? It's Virginia in the house now. Where at? Tell me where y'all from, baby.
Richmond.
Tell me where y'all from.
Richmond.
Tell me where y'all from, baby.
Richmond.
Tell me where y'all from.
Richmond.
Tell me now who wants the best now. Oh my God, tell me where y'all from, baby. Tell me where y'all from. Tell me now who wants the best now. If you're ready and you know it, clap your hands. If you're ready and you know it, clap your hands. If you're ready and you know it, don't be afraid to show it. If you're ready and you know it, clap your hands. God damn it, hold up. I said, hold up. I say, one more time, baby, let me know if you're good to go. I said, hold up. Damn. Special dedication going out to all of y'all, and I swear I hope you're having a ball. Hey, I'm getting ready. Yes I am. Good God Almighty, goddamn. Go ahead, baby. My name is Sam, and I don't need no ham, horn blow. Here we go. Hey, special dedication going out to Brother Russell. Special dedication going out to Brother Steve Branch and the whole damn crew here at Ivory's. Hey, ain't no more DJ Coolers out of here, and I'll see y'all later, and we out.
That was the jam back in the day. As I always say, I do not own the rights to this song. Not at all. Not at all. But that was the jam, especially when they got to the part when they shouting out the states. And then you heard them in the background. They said, Richmond, you know, that's my home city. Virginia in the house. Say what now? Anyway, so water check every time. Y'all know it's a water check. This is my 10th bottle. I'm back on that schedule, 10 by 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. For those of you who are wondering, I don't know, something's going on with my notifications and everything. I come on every day at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys can hit the notification and everything. Not sure why it doesn't show that, but I come on every day at 7:30. And I'll be here pretty much every day. Fridays, like tomorrow, is my grown woman's talk. I know I said that yesterday. I had my days mixed up. It get like that sometimes. And Sundays, I do a wellness show at 1 p.m. So on your way in the building, please smash that like button and subscribe button if you haven't already done it. Y'all saw the thumbnail. Water check. Again, 10. I'm at 80 ounces today, right now. But y'all saw the thumbnail. Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia are scared of little old Pitbull Cruz. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it? Oscar is claiming that Pitbull Cruz team turned down the fight. Now, we recently heard that, Cruz's father has been a little innovative and what he wanted to do with the contracts. We know that Ryan likes to call people's name out, use other men's names to boast his career. He likes to pretend like he's a real boxer, like he's going to chop it up with these guys, but he never does. He'll set the fight, he'll get the ball rolling, then he pulls out. We don't know what he's trying to do. But we have to be leery of that. There are boxers out there like that right now. Ryan comes to mind. He is notorious for calling somebody's name. He did that with Tank Davis on Mike Tyson's show, Hot Boxing. And he does that in the social media. He always has something to say, but let's fight. He really don't subscribe to that. I don't think he really wants to fight. He likes to be in the loop. I don't know if he thinks he's going to turn what little boxing career he had into like maybe commentating. One could say you ain't did enough to go that route. You have not been in boxing long enough to establish yourself. He's never held a title. He dropped his title eliminator belts because he didn't want to face nobody. So he was calling out Cruz. And Cruz's father was like, okay. And Cruz himself was like, we'll be your huckleberry. But just in case you pull a fast one on us, we're going to need some assurance. So you're going to have to pay us if you back out. You have to pay us when we fight, and you're going to have to pay us if you back out. Now, maybe that was a bridge too far for Ryan. Maybe that was a great tactic to do to somebody like him who likes to talk up something to, talk up a potential fight to keep his name relevant and circulating in the media, to keep him relevant. Maybe that's something he likes to do. And, I guess that's good for him, but as boxing fans, it's not good for us. He keeps proving himself to be substandard. And I don't blame Cruz's father for taking that route, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be what it's going to be. He's going to back out, and it's going to be a reason, and nobody will ever really know the real reason, because nobody's going to rise up and say, it was me. It was me. Oscar's not going to, it was me. Ryan is not going to, it was me. If y'all remember a couple of months ago, his big brother, Canelo, tried to call him out and, try to chastise him in public, which I felt like that was the right thing to do for Canelo. Like, look, dude, are you serious or what? You're not in the gym. You're not even trying. You could be, whatever, but you're not even giving it an effort. So why does his name always circulating around the top guys? Because he's clever at branding himself and using the social media. That's his claim to fame. He's a YouTuber. Oscar claims that it was a lucrative deal that they offered him. That's what he claims. He ain't going to show it. Maybe another way that Cruz and them can end in these tactics is to come out and show what they offered. Henley is in the building. Good evening, Miss T in the chat. Good evening to you too, Henley. What's up, King? But that might be a new tactic too. When some people claim that they offered this and offered that, the other person should come out and show whether that happened or not. Because otherwise, us as fans going to take it and we're going to spin our own narrative to our favor. And it's going to be a lot of confusion. But that was a good tactic. Shout out to Isaac Cruz, father, for coming up with that. Just like I thought, whoever told Tio and Cambosos that they had to a certain date to get their COVID shots, I thought that was a good tactic too. We still have people canceling out fights due to COVID. Now you're in boxing, a lot of money on the line, it ain't just you, it's your team, it's other people, if you want to think of it like this, it's the vendors of the place that you're boxing at. It's a lot of people that's got to eat off of what you claiming you're going to do as a fighter. So maybe, just maybe, that those are good tactics. So we don't have to have a fight build up and then, we can understand injuries, but COVID, I mean, that's hard to understand. However, it can happen even if even if you get a shot. So let me be clear. Even if you get a shot of the COVID vaccination, it does not mean, and I repeat, it does not mean you won't catch COVID, but your risk of catching it diminishes. That's all it means. And if you catch it, the likelihood of you dying diminishes. Nothing is guaranteed. Versus you're not getting no vaccination at all, and the likelihood of you catching it is increased. The risk of you catching it is increased. The risk of you dying from it is increased. We talking about millions of dollars, y'all. Even thousands of dollars. We talking about money exchanging hands, all because of you, and you can't do what you're supposed to do. So shout out to the people who thought about adding those two nuggets into contracts, because I think we do need them. You're not a regular person walking around on the street. You got a lot of people depending on you to live up to the part you say you're going to play. So we do need assurance in these contracts these days. Oscar also claimed that Cruz was going to get paid way more than what he got paid in the Gervonta Davis fight. We know that Cruz got paid $300,000. That was a lot. I still have not been able to ascertain, and I'm trying, y'all, to find out like what was Cruz getting paid before he fought Gervonta Davis, Because in my heart of hearts, I be thinking he didn't get like $100,000 checks. I think that he got 50,000, maybe 70,000. If he got $100,000 check, it was a little over 100. But he fought often. He fought often leading up to the Cruz Gervonta Davis fight. So getting paid 300,000 guaranteed, that was a lot. And then because it was pay-per-view, he got some money on the back end, which all in all, I think he netted probably close to 600,000 or 700,000. That's a lot. If he was a fighter who was getting paid 50,000 all the time, and then to come in and do that one fight, that's a big jump. His social media jump. Look what one opportunity can do for you. Wow. So Oscar trying to be like, yo, if you think that was something, Cruz, look what we about to offer you. And the only thing that I know that was standing in the way is Isaac Cruz's father saying, hey, we cool, we down with it, but you got to give us some insurance because your boy likes to pull out of shit. And it's not fair for, basically saying it's not fair for us to go through a whole camp and spend all that time away from our families, doing that road work, doing all that stuff just to, not have a fight in the end of the day. That's a lot. Imagine if you had to go through that, getting ready for a fight, and right at the last minute, the fight don't happen for whatever reason. Usually with Ryan is some fugazi ass reason. So that's the only thing that Cruz and them asked for. Ryan doesn't have a belt. Cruz don't have a belt. So you really can't say who the A side. That's not an argument. Ryan has a lot more followers than Cruz. But this boxing, who cares? I don't care about your YouTube. Ryan, let Oscar and them tell it is a moneymaker. So if you paying Ryan, let's say something like 700,000, then you should at least pay Cruz half that or a little or close to it. It's only fair. You know what I'm saying? Will it make money? It possibly could make money. It most certainly could. But all Team Cruz is saying that we just need some assurance he's gonna show up. That's all we saying. And I told you what he made in Gervonta's fight on December 5th. Oscar is not really clear on whether he will increase the offer because maybe he's thinking, oh, they turned it down. I know, I'll sweeten the pot. He's not really clear in the article whether that will be his next move. He's talking like, they turned it down. And we already know what their counter was. Hey, pay us if he pull out. Pay us regardless. Pay us in nickels. Pay us regardless. What your boy do? We're gonna beat his ass, but in case he chickens out, we're gonna need some do-re mi. But when he's talking about maybe he should have sweetened the deal or he's paying him more, and the article points this out too, but I think that way too. If you didn't want the fight, Oscar, then why offer to pay him more than what he got before? There's all kinds of ways you could have made sure that this fight didn't happen. More than likely, Ryan don't want the fight. I don't see Oscar as I'm judging Oscar by how he was in his career. I know he kind of scandalous outside of his career. Most boxers can be. But I'm judging him for how he was in his career. Oscar met the challenge. Oscar has said as much about Canelo and Ryan and others not meeting the challenge. That's why Oscar wanted to come back. But he got sick with the COVID, so he say. But if you didn't want the fight, because Oscar is also the same person that said when it comes to Jojo Diaz and Ryan Garcia, They wanted to wait till the big dogs move up to 140, talking about Tank, talking about Haney. That's what they wanted to do before they go after some belts. Ryan can't even be Teofimo, I don't think. But that's what Oscar said. He want to wait till the big dogs move, and then he'll set his fighters on the path to victory and glory, and not a minute sooner. But JoJo stepped up and fought Haney. Ryan hasn't stepped up as of yet. We don't even hear about Fortuna. I don't even know who he signed with. But if you didn't want to fight Oscar, you should have lowballed him. You should have offered him less money. Of course, they would have turned it down. Isaac Cruz, Team Cruz, would be stupid to start taking prize rewards less than what they got in the Gervonta Davis fight. They should either stay there or move upwards. Don't go backwards. And I think they know that. Oscar wanted, he listening to his boy. You keep falling into the trap, Oscar. You keep falling into the trap. Your boy talk a lot of shit, but he don't back nothing up. And then you be left holding the bag looking silly. It's just a matter of time for Oscar to get tired of that too, I believe. But why is Oscar letting us know? Why is he letting the public know? What y'all think? You guys tell me. Why y'all think that Oscar is letting us know these little, or dropping these little nuggets of information? Why? Because he wants to save face. He wants to save face. Your boy keep doing the same thing, and y'all keep validating it by even entertaining it. And then you get caught holding the bag. You probably did not want him to fight Cruz in the first place, but Ryan is so convincing. Rihanna is so convincing when he's talking up these men, and he does this professionally. He's a boaster of men. He likes to cap for men. He does it professionally, and he does it so well that you fall for it every time, Oscar. And then he has no intention. He just want to be relevant. He wants to be a macho man. That's what he want to be. But he don't want to do macho work. That's the problem. So Oscar figured, let me head this, because he know this can get ugly. He know that Ryan's star could straight diminish by any kind of controversy, like Cruz calling him out or something, or saying, yeah, let's fight, and then Ryan backing down. He know at that point, it'll be hard to revive his popularity. So Oscar gets ahead of the story. He drops a nugget and make it seem like, oh, it ain't us, it's Team Cruz. When all along it was you guys. It's not unreasonable for Cruz's father to ask, yo, in case Ryan pulls out and do his normal, we need to get paid for our time and effort. That's all they saying. I don't know how much they ask for. That's not I don't know. Like, it's not like he put a number to it. Because as you know, I don't like pocket watching and this, that, and the other. I understand that that money is a part of boxing and that it comes with the territory. I get that. I get that it would come up in conversation. I get that. I kind of like how Cruz father did it. Hey, no problem. No problemo. We just need to get paid when he do what he do. We need to get paid regardless, because we putting in work, we spending money, getting ready to fight him. You know, we have to have our passports in order. We have to make sure all our, we can get over there, the travel arrangements. You don't do this shit the night before. We're away from our family. We got gym memberships too. We got to pay the team that works with us. We don't have the luxury to go through all that and lose money just to be spending, because Ryan want to play games through social media. So all we saying is, I think, I don't even know what he charged them, but I doubt that it was the exact price of what they were due to get paid in the fight. So it sounds like you just paying him for his time and effort. That's not unreasonable. What y'all think? That is not unreasonable to ask for that. And like I said, a rumor was that Oscar didn't want the fight. He never really wanted to fight, but Ryan act like he did. So as a promoter, you ain't have no choice but to ride with what your client wants, right? Everything about this deal seems reasonable. Why would it be turned down? Mm-hmm. And like I said, why would you offer more money if you didn't want the fight? Oscar, I believe that you really thought the fight was going to go down. But then your boy stopped being himself, showing that other side. He's two-faced. He must be a Gemini. He started showing that other side of him. And he was like, oh, shit. He done got me again. Where is Ryan in all this? That's my question. Where is Ryan? He talks shit in the beginning, but once the ball get to rolling, where the hell he disappears to? I hope that people be asking him on his social media. I don't go to his social media. As a boxer, I kind of don't have respect for him. So I'll report news about him. Not like, all the time, because he's not a real boxer to me. At this point, he's Jake Paul's little brother. Shout out to Jake Paul. I know you boxing, but you're not doing it all the way. So that's why I say you're not a real boxer. You are entertaining. You do put on performances. But all in all, you're not a real boxer. You're not doing everything that real boxers do. So when I say you're not a real boxer, that's why. No lobo hit or not trying to be condescending or anything. It's worse for Ryan to be like you, Jake, because Ryan started off as a real boxer. You was a YouTuber who got into boxing. It's understandable. You're doing very well for somebody who came into it late. First, it seemed like you was doing it for fun, but you're taking it more seriously, and we could tell that as you progress along. But Ryan, he doesn't get that pass like you. So for me to call him a YouTuber, it's definitely an insult. To him, maybe he don't care. Maybe that's all he wanted to be. But he's in the boxing world and he's fronting. And that's just not cool. That's not cool. He's making people lose money. That ain't cool. It's not a winning combination. But where is Ryan? Ryan. Oh, Ryan. Where are you? Wherefore are you? Ryan. I probably said that all wrong. Where are you, Ryan? Canelo have made a concerted effort to be, in Cruz's corner or support him. Canelo is unapologetically Mexican or unapologetically Latino, and he reaches out to a lot of them. As I said the other day, I'm not mad at him for that, because I'm unapologetically black, and I hope most people are unapologetically who they are. But Canelo reached out to Cruz, and for all intents and purposes, some of the people that Cruz rock with, I shouldn't like Cruz, but just to show you how fair I am, I like him. I'm gonna follow his career with interest. I don't know what he has to do to make me stop liking him, but I've been liking him for a while now. I've been talking about him since the summer. He's with Pacquiao's team. Right there, I shouldn't like, because everybody over there is suspect to me. That IC good as a motherfucker over there. But he's over there, so I shouldn't like him, right? I don't know. But then now he's getting a connection with Canelo. That's even worse because you know I don't like his ass. Not the cheater himself. But, again, I judge everybody individually till they show me something different. And right now, I'm on the Cruz train. I definitely am. Now, Canelo has also made a concerted effort to chastise Ryan for his lack of commitment and dedication to the sport. I thought he was right. He was acting like an older big brother. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, what you doing? You're not in the gym. You calling him out. You're not in the gym. You faking the funk. But I did say when I first read that article months ago, I said, Canelo, you better be careful with these young folks now. They ain't like your generation. He'll turn around and literally, and I mean literally, spill the motherfucking tea. He'll literally spill that tea. So you better be careful how you calling people out because he might not appreciate that. He might feel like you was trying to derail him or make his stock go down on his social media by even saying something. The Canelo pretty much came out that week, and you haven't heard of anything recently. So Canelo might got the point. They might have had some backroom talk like, look, motherfucker, I know you Canelo and everything, but I'll blast your ass. I'll let everybody know that you be drinking that IC or eating that taco meat. 88 Sports Talk is in the building. What's poppin', King? Hey, Queen. Cruz will put Ryan in the hospital. Indeed. I believe that. Definitely. So, for all intents and purposes, I shouldn't even like Isaac Cruz. But he showed himself to be a real dude. A real dude in boxing. He moves okay to me in these boxing streets. He's trying to feed his family. He's trying to make a come up. Remember I talked about the other day, legacy, career, and business. He encompasses all three. He thinks about all three right now. Anyway, money changes you. So we shall see how when he's starting to get the big paydays, how he act. But he had his opportunity. He took advantage of it and he comported himself well. Can I say the same thing for Ryan Garcia? Are we clamoring for this fight anyway? Is anybody really asking for Cruz and Ryan to chop it up? Are we clamoring for that? I never really thought about it or asked for it. I kind of dismiss Ryan out of my head. Like, he's not relevant because I don't think he wants to be a boxer. There's no crime with that. But it's to me, it's a crime to play around with people's feelings and emotion. Because boxing, people be passionately committed to the sport, whether you doing the sport or you're just a fan. And Ryan plays with our emotions. He does. He does. But is anybody really looking forward to a Cruz Ryan fight? I'm actually looking forward to a Cruz and Tank Davis rematch. What about you guys? You guys want that? I do. Because if that was a last minute replacement, think about it like this. If Cruz and Tank Davis was a last minute replacement, can you imagine what it'd be if Cruz had a whole camp? An entire camp to get ready and prepare. He didn't know until a couple of weeks before the fight that he was fighting Tank Davis. And look how that fight went. So can you imagine if he had 8 whole weeks to prepare for Tank Davis? I know I'm voting for it. I want the rematch. Now, there's either two things gonna happen in that rematch. Tank gonna scald his ass, or Cruz is gonna be victorious. It's the only two things that can happen. I know, so I'm basically saying it's a 50-50 fight. That's what I'm saying, because I think Cruz have tasted his power. He know what Tank could do. They probably studying the tape and probably seeing what they could do differently. But as I said in that fight, leading up to that fight, Tank, you cannot play. You cannot play with this dude. You're going to have to come in boxing and then get your hard punches throughout. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be strategically just looking for your hard punch. You're going to have to connect that when you have that opportunity. But Tank didn't do that. And that's why, to me, that fight was close. So I'm not hard advocating for Ryan. I don't even know why he really comes up in the conversation. And the only reason I'm talking about him because I'm a fan of Isaac Cruz now. But Ryan definitely, of all people, he's the type of fighter that needs a clause in his contract for what happens when he does what he does, which is pull out for whatever reason. What happens? People got to be compensated. What did I say the first time? Look, I be messing up words and stuff. I ain't smoking tonight, y'all. I be messing up words. He's definitely a person that got to do that. I think that was a good tactic, and I can't think of. Can y'all think of somebody else like a Ryan that be talking that smack and then don't show up? You know, when it's time to show up. He's notorious with that. He's famous for that. And what's gonna wind up happening is Ryan gonna have to fight. They looking for him to fight in April. Y'all just watch closely. Golden Boy is gonna pick somebody easy for him to fight. Probably somebody you haven't heard of before, or somebody back in the day who might have been something for a hot second, but is not at the top echelon right now. That's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna cherry pick. And they're gonna try to say Cruz turned down the fight. But y'all just remember, Cruz family offered them a counter, and the only counter was if Ryan pulls out, we want to be compensated. That's all. I mean, that's not asking for a lot. It's really not. If they have a problem with that, then I don't even know what to tell Golden Boy or Ryan or Rihanna, aka Rihanna. Well, anywho, moving on. Dillian White, aka Taco Meat, and Tyson Fury might possibly almost they might have a fight, or Tyson will be fighting somebody else. The thing that I took, the noteworthy nugget that I took from the article was that they have a date of March 26th. Now, this fight is going to purse bid. There is controversy with this purse bid. Dillian White wanted more. But I mean, who's mad about following the rules of the purse bid? If the purse bid for WBC is 80-20, then Dillian, that's what the hell you got to get. That's what you got to get. Now, we all know that they offered Dillian White $5.5 million. That's a lot of money. That's good enough money where he and his husband can ride off into the sunset. That's good money right there. That's good shit right there. So I don't know why Dillian had a problem with that. Plus, Top Rank is not convinced that if they agree to that 55-45 split that he wanted, who's to say he's not going to ask for more? You know, you deserve 80-20. You know, you probably was going to get about 5.5 anyway. I don't think that fight is going to be a big seller. And see, this is what I mean by people, they got to start learning to choose their battles very carefully. Just like Teal, prime example. Teal had an original date of June 19th for his fight with Kambosos. He should have stuck to that shit. And he claimed he had COVID. We don't know the truth. He never showed us any proof. So there's a part of me to believe he didn't, but he should have stuck to that, fought him, and he would have got the biggest payday of his life. He would have been a millionaire several times over instead of what he got right now. Don't get me wrong, they got paid, but they would have got paid more, both of them, had he just stuck to the plan. It wouldn't have mattered who showed up. Yeah, these fighters got to realize once somebody set this, the mark at a certain amount, is you can be your own worst enemy by going backwards, so to speak. Anybody get what I'm trying to say? Because I know in government work, once they pay you a set amount, it's very hard for them to go backwards. Even if you switch jobs, even if your job you switch to, because especially if they phase the job out or whatever, and you go to a job that's less requirements, they still have to pay you the same. The civilian world works like that too, to a certain degree. You can only be your worst enemy and take yourself backwards. But Dillian White, $5.5 million. And now we have a date. That's, like I said, that was the nugget in that article, March 26th. Y'all look out for that. Will it happen? Will it come and go and there will be no fights? I'm not buying a Tyson fight. If he's not fighting Deontay, I really don't care. If he fight Usyk, I don't know what network would cover that. I might care for that because I like Usyk, and Usyk got all the belts. If he fight AJ, I'm good because that's on the zone, and I got that. But if he just going on PBC, Fox, and all that stuff, I'm not buying that shit. I'm not buying it at all. I'm not buying a Tyson Fury fight. Just like if Canelo don't fight somebody I like, I'm not buying his fight either. Valdez, I don't think he do pay-per-view. I wouldn't buy his fight either. Ryan, I wouldn't buy his fight either. They have to fight somebody of note for me to get invested into it. And Tyson, I don't care what he do. Let the cheaters have it. Hell, open up the Roman Coliseum and let them go at it. It doesn't matter. Dillian needs to understand that this is probably going to be a big payday for him. This is about as best as he's going to get. Some say he might not beat Tyson Fury. I don't care who wins, but Tyson feels a certain kind of way about things too, because he don't really want to fight Dillian. So it makes me think that Dillian to Tyson is not an easy win. Again, who cares? But March 26th was the important thing that came out of that article. The purse bid is decided. It's 80-20. So he lost that 55-45 thing. The purse bid will be 80-20, according to that article. that was another nugget. And the purse bid is scheduled for this month, January 11th, 2022. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Look out for a nugget to drop out of that, because that will be the purse bid. Like who's gonna choose that fight? Would it be Triller this time, or did they learn their lesson? Would it be the zone? Possibly. Why Bob can't put up the purses for his fighters? He's slacking on his pimping at this point. He's slacking on his pimping. And then take note of this. I said this before. Bob, that's that ESPN Plus. That's his baby. That's his baby. But yeah, he only ever wanted to put the what's his name, Terrence Crawford on there. Well, here's your fighter, Bob. Put Tyson Fury on the damn ESPN Plus. Let's see how well that do. Let's just see that. But y'all look out for January 11th, 2022. That's like coming up real soon. And that's when the purse bid gonna start. So we'll get some information about that. What the article didn't say is that Tyson Fury was vacating his belt. I was looking for that because it's always assumed that he's going to do that. I hope he do, but it's it's a WBC, but it's like you take it how you can get it, huh? But I hope he do vacate his belt. But that article did not say that. But we should see. Of note, Huey Fury will probably face Derek Chisora. You know that Derek Chisora took a hellified beating recently from Joseph Parker. And it was bad enough where people felt like, the 38-year-old need to go on and hang the gloves up and take it back to the house. But, in speaking with Derek Chisora, not me personally, but when they interviewed him, he was like pretty much telling people, mind their fucking business. He got this. He still feel like he got some more fights. He's entertaining the thought of facing everybody. Nobody's exempt. He even want to face Deontay Wilder, but that would not be a good thing for him to do. Nobody like if you're on your way out the door, don't try to get no fight with Deontay. You might not make it out the door. A hint to the wise should be sufficient. Of no, Huey Fury will probably face him. Y'all know they got Huey Fury. This is Tyson Fury's big ass brother. I guess the one with the curly hair. The one I ain't never seen him fight. How about y'all? Have y'all ever seen this dude fight? But they got him ranked higher than Deontay Wilder and a couple of sanctioned bodies. I was like, what in the mess is going on? But enough about the Furies. Charlatan ass. Anywho, I'm gonna move on. Caleb Johnson and versus Joe Smith. Y'all know Joe Smith. He's the light heavyweight champ. I think he holds the WBO title. You got Bivol, you got Better BF, and you got Joe Smith. Now Canelo up there fishing. He was talking that yang, talking about like he want to get with Better BF, but I don't think Canelo want that smoke. But he might have wanted Bivol. But really he's skipping past those guys and trying to go fight Makabu, the heavyweight champ, cruiserweight champion, who is relatively unknown. Floyd Mayweather said about this guy that he used to work out in their gym and he's easy work. So Canelo know what he's doing. Sanctioning bodies know what they're doing too, because somehow or another he has a belt. I haven't seen the fight. It's not like he on TV. He doesn't even make it to Showbox. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, Canelo wants to fight him, but Caleb already put it out on Front Street. He has no intentions or no interest in facing Canelo. He's already put that out on Front Street. But Callum Johnson, and Joe Smith were due to face each other on January 15th this month. And that fight is canceled due to the fact that Callum Johnson has now tested positive for COVID-19. See why you gotta put that in I just was talking about that earlier. That's why I think it's a good tactic or strategy, call it what you want, for fighters to start putting that in their contracts. You know what I'm saying? That the person is fully vaccinated. It don't mean that person is not going to catch COVID. Again, vaccinations don't stop that. They limit the risk of something being real serious and you dying. That's it. It don't stop you from catching it. So if they start putting that shit in the contract, because now it's like, man, how irresponsible can you be? You know that shit is out there. Why you ain't masking up or doing whatever you can to prevent it? Now, yeah, it's true. Everybody got a choice to do what they want. This is boxing. This is something that all these fighters are volunteering. And yeah, you got your choice. But then you got people's money on the line. It's not just you who's going to be affected. It's going to be the vendors who work that arena where you're fighting. It's going to be the people who own the place that the promoters had to put a down payment on. It could possibly mean the sanctioning fees that had to go out from both sides because the title is on the line. The money you spent training, traveling, and everything. That's a lot of money on the line. And the least people can do is put that in their contract. Like, hey, by this date, let's say this is January, so let's say somebody contract to fight in April. You can have in the contract like by March 1st, you have to be fully vaccinated. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? That is nothing wrong with that. You could choose not to, but you how many times is those people gonna want to miss out on money or lose money because somebody had to drop because they tested positive for COVID? Think about it like that. Think about the opportunity that fighter has now missed. Caleb Johnson, when the next time he's going to be in line to face a person for a title? Look at the opportunity he just squandered. And I'm sure nobody's trying to catch COVID on purpose, but I'm just saying, look what happened. When the next time he gonna get that opportunity? Now, right now, Top Rank is actually looking for an opponent for Joe Smith, and that's why I think they knew about this more than today. But like before, maybe a week or so ago, because Joe Smith emphatically came out and said, "Nah, Canelo, don't even come over here." But Top Rank is looking for an opponent, a replacement. This is at light heavyweight. I don't know. I can't think of nobody who he can fight. Now he do say he's not leery of fighting Better BF or Bivol. That might be their next fight. It's a win-win for all of them because either side win, that's a unification, right? And they are true light heavyweights. So it's a win-win for both sides. You know, like I said, in the end of the day, they're gonna ask him, "Were you vaccinated?" And then people gonna throw up in his face, "Oh man, you missed the opportunity." But see, that's life right there. In the world we live in today, this COVID shit ain't no joke. Yeah, a lot of people catching it, even with having vaccinations. You know, what I don't hear is a lot of people dying like they used to. I think that has diminished. I'm not gonna say nobody dies. That has diminished, and my prayers go out to anybody who got COVID. For real. I hope that I pray that you have a speedy recovery in the boxing world, out the boxing world, in the civilian life, in the military life. I pray that you have a speedy recovery. Anywho, let's move on. Herkovich. Where did we hear that name first? Herkovich, right? That's a weird way to pronounce it. H.R. Govich. Herkovich was supposed to be fighting Luis Ortiz next. For some reason, Luis Ortiz had to have two, not one, but two title eliminators. Why that is, I don't know. But he wasn't interested in that. I think he voiced that opinion before the fight or, whatever. I wouldn't either. If you got a title eliminator, you just got a title eliminator. You don't need to be doubling up and all that crap. So Herkovich was supposed to be his second title eliminator. I mean, I could look at it like Luis Ortiz, you getting work. You getting some work, you getting some necessary work. It ain't no layoffs. You roll out of one fight right into the next. However, eliminator is what you aspire to be because that's a step before becoming a champion. And all fighters should want to be a champion. Then they should want to be unified, and then they should want to be undisputed. But apparently, Luis Ortiz injured his hands, so there will be no follow-on fight with Herkovich and Luis Ortiz. The next in line would have been Joseph Parker and Herkovich. Now, Joseph Parker has recently come out and said that he's not fighting him. He declined it. So Ortiz ain't doing it, and Parker is not doing it. why that is. Why y'all think? Well, we know Ortiz has an injured hand. But why not Parker? There's no real answer for why Parker ain't doing it. Parker just had his bout with Chisora. He did a good job. Well, he handily whooped his ass. So I guess he said, I'm tired, boss. You know, we will be looking into that. Because Herkovich gonna get his fights. He's mad too. He's calling out to everybody but Santa Claus, like, give us free. I'm just joking. Like, hey, like, y'all gotta let me shine. Y'all gotta give me my opportunity. I believe like there should only be one eliminator, but you know, these sanctioning bodies, they make up their rules as they go, and especially for certain fighters. So I really don't know how that's gonna work out. You got two people that said they ain't gonna fight you. You cannot demote or diminish Luis Ortiz ranking. I don't care about Parker. I really don't. He's another one that I think sold AJ his belt. This is just what I think, y'all. These are just my opinions. I know Martin did. I feel I know. I cannot prove or confirm. It's just what I think based on what I see. Now, if Parker's supposed to be this great fighter, what happened with AJ? You didn't even try. That's how I look at it. He was just a pushover. So that's him and Martin, and AJ got a belt off of each one of them for that. So that's why I'd be like, I don't know. Now, Dave Caldwell, who's Chisora's trainer, I believe, he basically has come out and made the news because he's saying he's not going to train Chisora if he try to fight Deontay. Ain't that something? He know what the fuck he see is what it is. He paying attention to detail is what he doing. Chisora, I just said, based on his last outing, he got his ass handed to him, so to speak. And people was calling for his retirement, and people were saying, man, you need to hang the gloves up and take it to the house. He was kind of offended because they basically telling him, you're an old ass man, and your gifts have left you. You're in a diminishing state right now. Chisora didn't take too lightly to that. And his response, mind your business. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I got some fights left in me. Hell, I'm entertaining, fighting everybody, and to include Deontay. But his trainer's like, pump your brakes. Pump your motherfucking brakes. Whoa, Kimosami. No. If you go in there with the king, as I like to call him, you go in there with Deontay Wilder, I can't be in your court. I can't watch that train wreck. That's basically what his trainer is saying. And if you've been with somebody for a while and you know that they have had your best interests at heart, you should listen to your trainer. Kind of what they said to Mikey Garcia with Errol Spence. Tell me something, I see something. Yeah, you saw that ass whooping, didn't you? Because your daddy saw that ass whooping and your brother saw that ass whooping. The only person that couldn't see that ass whooping was you. I hope you got your contacts in now. Because Earl whooped that ass. And I think Earl seriously hurt him. Because Mikey had to sit down for a minute. He had to sit down for a minute. I'm basically making fun of the word minute. Mikey had to sit his ass down. He almost looked concussed. If you go back and watch some of his videos, like right after that fight, and how he kept doing this, like licking his tongue out every time he talked. I read somewhere one time that was kind of like some signs of a concussion, especially if that wasn't normally how he talked or did when he talked. So he could have been concussed. He could have got seriously hurt. Even Derek James recognized that shit in the fight and was like, yo, stop this fight. Trying to tell Mikey in them corner. And of course, you can't tell people who are macho anything. But Derek Chisora is pretty much falling in line with that. He's a little bit macho. He don't think he's an old man. He's a young 38. 38 is the new 28. That's what he should have said. But his trainer know better. Like, dog, I'm not gonna watch this train wreck. You could get seriously hurt or killed messing with the king, and I'm not gonna be here for it. So that's pretty much what was going on with him. And his trainer feel like Deontay is a bridge too far. Of note, since we're talking about, declining fighters, a segue into another declining fighter to me is Lawrence Okolie. Lawrence Okolie, some people might like him. He got power. He could be cool, but he need to be fine-tuned. That last outing that I seen of his was a while ago. I just don't see him as a contender at all. I don't see it at all. And with the heavyweights especially, he was better off, in my opinion, staying down there in the cruiserweight. Maybe even drop it. He's a big guy for, like, it's not like his stature could not hold heavyweight, weight, but that dude got too many holes in his arsenal. So some of these heavyweights will kill him. I think Usyk will destroy him. I think Tyson will destroy him. I even think AJ will destroy him. I know Deontay will damn near kill him. He don't belong up in heavyweight. He need to go on and sit his ass back down to where he was. But if he can't make weight and he feel like he ready to go up, who am I to tell him not to do it? But I'm looking at how the dude fight. He's going to get hurt. I really believe that guy is going to get hurt. But he's out of England, and I'm going to be like, more power to you. And he has all kinds of problems. He's not defensively sound, and that's his biggest problem. And he messing with these other heavyweights. He's going to get hurt. So, not that most people care. Like, he comes up. Like, when you watch The Zone, you definitely probably can see him on one of those fights. He'll come up on somebody's undercard, and you might not even know him that much. Then he got, oddly enough, he's a weird fighter. If he can catch you with them weird angles, he ain't so weird that he's difficult to beat, because he does a lot of mistakes. He does a lot of mistakes that leaves himself open. Mainly, I don't feel like he moves his head good enough off the line. And when he's awkward, like he's fighting, he's like open like this. His hands could be like right here, like my hand doing, and he's open like this. And a real heavyweight would hurt him. They're damn near kill him. So I don't know if that was the best advice for him to move up. And so I'm gonna move on to shout out to him though. Dare to dream. Hey, that's all we can say. Dare to dream. Now everybody's counting Keith Thurman out, and my question is why? I moved on to the Keith Thurman. I didn't do a good segue, did I? But my question is why are we counting Keith Thurman out? Keith Thurman is a formidable partner. He's a formidable opponent. We have to remember that he only lost one time, and that's to Pacquiao. And if you're gonna lose to somebody, who better to lose to? Pacquiao or somebody else? If you're gonna lose to somebody. So I mean, that's how I look at it. Now I know a lot of people don't like Keith Thurman. I'm not a big fan like I used to be, but I still like Keith Thurman. He's not. I liked the old Keith Thurman. I like that guy. But I realize life happens and life changes and stuff. You can't always be the same person. But I still rock with him. I still believe he got what it takes. But it's not enough for me to believe. It's enough for him. It's got to be what he believes. So if Keith Thurman comes back, they're saying he's not going to regain his status that he had before. We don't know that. He could have seriously had some injuries. Truth be told, it almost seemed like when Danny Garcia fights you, even if you win the fight, you don't leave unscathed. Danny Garcia could have left some damage on Errol Spence. We don't know that. We don't know that. But he could have. He could have left some damage on Keith Thurman. Because Keith, after fighting Danny Garcia, is when he said, I got to get my shit fixed. I got to get my shit twisted and fixed up and everything like that. Otherwise, he would have just kept going. And he probably felt like, if I keep fighting under these conditions, I definitely will lose a fight. And can you blame him? Can you blame him for thinking that way? I mean, if you keep fighting under those conditions, you could very well lose the fight. Is anybody gonna say differently? I can't even say differently. Hold on, y'all. That's how I look at it. I can't even say differently. He almost has a point. My dog. He really does have a point. You know, he had to address it's like he had elbows, then he had hands. Who's to say Keith Thurman was not fighting through those injuries? I understand what it looked like, though. I do. I really, really do. I really understand what it looked like and why some people feel like they don't like him. I also feel like, and I told y'all this before, is no hit against Earl, because I don't think Earl knew when he was saying this at the time, because I think Keith Thurman is Earl's first casualty from the words that he say. And I don't think Earl at this time knew the impact of his words on his fans when he was downgrading and devaluing Keith Thurman, because Keith didn't do what he wanted him to do. I'm here to tell you, a lot of people have turned on Keith because of how Earl feel. And I really believe that. Is that Earl's fault? No. Earl can feel how he want to feel. But now Earl knows sometimes the things he say, he has to watch what he say, just like Terrence has to watch what he say. Because every little word that they say out their mouth can be taken to another level and mean something else. And you just don't want to have all that. But how I see it, this is what I really see. And I've heard Keith explain this. But this is how I go. Keith Thurman says, or he said, you know, he was calling out Floyd. Remember, right before Floyd was going to retire, Keith was hoping to get that sweepstake. He was hoping to get that fight with Floyd. Andrew Charles is in a building. Was popping, King? You guys don't forget to like and subscribe while you come in. So Keith wanted that Floyd fight, right? Floyd won't try to hear that. This is during the "Don't Duck Me, Son," that era, that Keith Thurman. That's the one I like. So Floyd, in my opinion, head him off at the path by putting Earl in his way. You know, sometimes fighters do that. Be like, they'll throw out their own personal gatekeeper, whether that person that they throwing out as a gatekeeper agreed to it or not. And I think that's what Floyd did with Earl in regards to Keith. Don't call for me, Keith. You know, I'm acting it out like I was there. Don't call for me, Keith. Fight somebody like Errol Spence, if you are that. And I'm putting my stank on it. So Errol, coming off of all this boost in his name for something he did while in sparring, if he got the best of Mayweather, which I don't know. I think it is true. So, but I haven't seen the tape. I can only go by what was said, and it's not like Floyd came out and denied it. So as far as I'm concerned, that's true. But we watch how Errol Spence's name elevated just from that. It just catapulted. Earl was a name, kind of, sort of. However, Earl, at that time, haven't faced anybody of note that we know, and Earl wanted his shot. The boxing section is in the building. What's popping, King? Salute to you too, Queen. So Earl was wanting his shot, and Keith won't giving it to him. Now, was Keith scared? Maybe. I'm not saying he wasn't. His energy certainly changed from the "don't duck me, son" to the "oh, you got to do this, oh, you got to do that." Stop making requirements that he didn't do before. So one can argue that he was avoiding Errol Spence, or he was scared of Errol Spence by just doing that, because he didn't keep the same "don't duck me, son." He didn't keep that energy. Meanwhile, Earl wants this opportunity. He's going to take it how he can get it. I just got some shine from handling Mayweather and sparring. Mayweather threw my name out there as an alternative. People starting to know me. Here's my opportunity. So far, so good. Keith Thurman was a unified champion. He wanted to fight with Mayweather, but he didn't get chosen. But he obviously, now we didn't hear him say it, and people don't have to say it, because it's kind of assumed that if you're a boxer, you want to be champion, then you want to be unified, then you want to be undisputed. But when you emphatically say it, then it's like known. Like, this is the path. This is what I'm really trying to do. Because ain't no telling a boxer can get a couple of championship belts and then move out the weight class and not even press about undisputed. But as we see, Earl and Keith are two fighters that probably live and dwell in the welterweight division forever. Now, Earl said he's going to move out of that division, but we have to see that when we see it. But so far, they spent their whole career in that one division. So Keith, we can assume, was trying to go for other belts. Well, if Earl is way back here, he isn't even the top number one ranked person, or he's not the mandatory. Why? Because if he were, he could have activated his mandatory. If he were, they could have made him fight Keith. There's ways to get that fight going. None of that happened. We just know that Earl wanted that shit and Keith didn't. That's what it seemed. That's how we got to call it. But do we blame Keith for not looking back to scoop Earl up? That's the question I have for you guys. Do we blame Keith for that? For not looking back at that time to scoop Earl up? For making Earl have to keep begging and keep begging and keep begging? Me personally, and I'm anxious to hear how y'all feel about it. Because me personally, I know, Kyle, you you feel a certain way, and I respect y'all opinion. But me personally, I don't have no blame to shell out for that. I don't feel a certain way about that. You know why? Because when I get to a point when I'm looking at boxing and none of them do that, then I'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're unique in how you approach things. I don't like that shit. But I knew then that what Keith was doing is the same thing people did before him. I knew then that given a chance, Earl would do the same thing. So I have to be selective in what I'm angry about. Am I going to be angry about the status quo? I mean, if it's blatant, if the status quo was everybody took a banned substance, of course I'll be angry about that, because it shouldn't be the status quo. But, it's cheating to throw elbows in the ring too. But I don't get mad at that, because all of them do it. It was one of them things, you take a risk, you throw the elbow, you hope the ref don't catch. But if you catch it, yeah, you got to take that shit. You got to take the backlash that come with throwing them elbows. But we know that happens in the ring. So, not enough for me to get angry. I seen Floyd do it millions of times. I see other fighters do it. I do get angry about the low blows though. Now I do see people do that a lot, and it shouldn't. I don't get it. I know there can be accidents sometimes, but when you just do it one too many times, it ain't an accident to me. Sometimes you do that on purpose, and even if you get away with it, you know you have slowed that fighter down. He will have to really, really dig deep to pull something out when he's hurting like that. But anywho, Keith didn't reach back for Earl. And I was like, I don't know why. You scared, Keith? I mean, I thought it too. What's going on, Keith? You are not acting the same. But I could always say Earl was not on his level at the time. And he made requirements of Earl. Now fast forward. It get to a point, in the beginning, Earl has always emphatically said, pretty much, even before Terrence got up there, that he wanted to be undisputed. That's what he said. We have to take the man at his word that's what he wanted. And I like that about him. He had a plan. He had a goal. He had a plan. So I ain't mad at him for that. But when you say, fuck sometime Thurman, I don't want, whatever. For me, technically, if we go by a lot of people's logic, that's some shit that we see all these fighters do. But when Earl do it, a lot of people don't recognize when he does that. Again, this is another area I wasn't mad at Earl for neither, because you know what? If I keep trying to get a fight with you and you keep avoiding me for whatever reason, I'm going to get frustrated and I'm going to say, fuck you. I just have to be patient and hopefully the sky open and the stars align and somehow or another you lose your belt and then I can go for it, because you're never going to fight me. You too scared. You don't want to fight me. I understood Errol Spence's frustration, and I never said nothing to the contrary. Now, fast forward to now. Bruce Ennis years ago called out Bud and Earl. He called out everybody pretty much. But I don't know if Bud was in the division yet, but I know he called out Earl and a couple of other people. The prevailing wisdom was, Boots, sit down, have several seats. You're not ready yet. I agree with that. But just like I felt like Keith didn't have to look backwards to scoop Earl up, I don't think Earl has to look backwards to scoop Boots up. You'll get your turn when you get your turn. Right now, Earl Spence, Ugas, so to speak, by default, and Terrence Crawford are in the zone, not the zone, not with the D, the zone, meaning they're in the pocket to achieve greatness. This is for their legacy. This is even for their career and business going forward. Why should any of them look backwards? This is when I brought all of that up, because you really can't talk about Keith Thurman without talking about Errol Spence. And I'm not even, doing a contrast with Earl and Bud right now. I'm just talking about Keith. Keith has a fight coming up February 5th with Mario Barrios. Everybody said, why this fight? In my opinion, this fight is going to take place because nobody else will fight Keith. They won't let him play in the reindeer games. They won't let him do it. So he had to pick somebody. Mario Barrios don't want to come into the division and connect with the bottom of the barrel, somebody we may have never heard of. So who better to fight but a notable guy who's still a name, who still has a decent record? Next to all the undefeated fighters in the welterweight division, Keith Thurman would come second. He could actually just come behind Errol, Bud, and him. He could be number 3. Because why? He has one loss, and that was to Pacquiao. One damn loss. Now, I ain't knocking anybody how they feel about Keith Thurman because, like I said, sometimes it is what it look like. But see, I give him the benefit of the doubt because I know a lot of his hate came from Spence fans, and I just didn't think that was right. Spence, again, cannot control what his fans would do. And I think at that time when Spence was talking out of frustration, which he had every right, I don't think he knew the impact of his words. But they had an impact. And it kind of derailed another man's career. Now, is Keith Thurman culpable of some of that derailment? Yes, sir. Yes, he is. He has a part that he played. But to the extent that it's derailed, no. And see, I can't get on that train. The only way I can get on that train of hating Keith Thurman is for somebody to show me that he did something that was uniquely him, that was kind of unfair to a fighter, that was uniquely him. He did not treat Errol Spence unfair. He did not, because Earl is doing that to Boots. Bud is doing it to Boots. They all are. So if Keith was unfair, then they are. If Keith need to be derailed, then they need to be derailed. I'm talking Bud and Earl. Both of them. They need to be derailed. Because what are they doing? If Keith was ducking, then they ducking. And you notice how I keep saying they. Talking about Bud and Earl. So I give Keith Thurman the benefit of the doubt in this situation. You guys could chime in and tell me what you think. I know some people are like, girl, you crazy. You are cray for thinking that. But I'm thinking fairness. That's all I'm thinking. My phone lines are open. 706-804-4449. 706-804-4449. Smash the like button and subscribe button if you haven't already done so, please. So, I mean, can anybody tell me different? Can anybody tell me different? I sensibly just walk out through the gist of what was going on back then. I know it's a lot of intricacies and innuendos and all that stuff, but basically, I gave you the gist. Keith Thurman was well within his rights to ignore Earl Spence, the man behind him. And he was only thrusted upon him because of what he did in sparring and Mayweather putting somebody like getting Keith off his back. Not that Mayweather was scared of Keith, but Keith was talking mad shit, if y'all remember. And Mayweather, I could see Mayweather saying some crazy shit like, "Oh, nigga, don't worry about me. You better worry about Earl Spence." But Earl Spence didn't have a belt. Why would Earl Spence be mad about having to go get a belt if that's the requirements Keith was telling him? Like I said, it do look like it looks. So Kyle, I feel you. I feel everything you say. It do be looking like it look, but at the same time, all I ever say, Kyle, is that, and I know I be calling your name because I know how you feel about Keith. Sorry. But all I say is they do the same thing. They do the same thing. And I think Keith and them is worried because I keep seeing articles. I don't always talk about it, but it's almost like he has to defend his honor. And we in the boxing fans, we need to stop that. We need to stop that. That man is still a formidable opponent for anybody to have. And we got to stop devaluing fighters because our favorite fighter don't like them. That's something that should stop too. And I'm telling you, a lot of people don't like Keith because of Errol. Again, at the time, Errol didn't know this impact. But since Keith, Errol does know his impact. And Bud knows his impact. I'm talking about the words they choose to say. So they need to, sorry, I had something in my mouth. They need to take heed to the words that come out their mouth and be careful because if this is this man's bread and butter, why should he be stopped to be able to provide for his family like everybody else? Why can't he earn a living in the pursuit of happiness? What's unique about his civil liberties versus everybody else's? Lynn Ray is in the building. He said, Queen T, salute to you too, King. What is so different about his civil liberties over Errol Spence, over Bud Crawford, over everybody? Everybody's treating Keith like he's a punchline, and I don't think they should. I don't think they should. Now, if he's lost it and he don't have it anymore, then he wouldn't be the first fighter that fall off like that. But because this man wanted to take a break and address his injuries, we want to call him punking out. We want to say all this stuff. Didn't Earl just have all this time out for injuries? Don't fighters in general, Bud and them, sit out a bunch of fights when you be like, why are you not active? For whatever reason. But we got to hate Keith. His career don't mean nothing, right? Nah, I can't ride that train. I certainly can't. I cannot ride that train. Now, Keith don't have the favor with me as he used to, because next to Floyd, he was my top guy back in the day. Lynn Ray said Keith lists through hunger. Yeah, he really wants an opportunity. He might be finished and he just still don't know it yet. Look at Chisora. Then I just finished talking about Chisora and how people was like telling him to hang the gloves up, take it back to the house. But he was saying, hey, nah, mind y'all fucking business. I'm still in it to win it. I got some good fights left in me. And then you hear his trainer saying, hey, if you get in there with Deontay, I'm out. Because I'm not going to watch this train wreck. But it's just like people, that's their way. What is Keith going to do? Go play the flute? What y'all want him to do? To fade into the sunset? He was one of our great fighters. Why we don't extend him the same energy that we do everybody else? I just don't get it. Like Tim Bradley said, he's a mercenary now looking for a payday. He might be. He's a mercenary. What we can say is he can fight. And he might be looking for a payday. He got this new baby now. He might be. And anything wrong with that? Ain't that what they all looking for, is a payday? They all looking for it. It's like, for me to really hate Keith, I have to, I don't know. I guess I need something extra. And I'm talking about him because he has a fight coming up. I understand why him and Barrios is about to chop it up. Because nobody was going to fight Keith. Nobody was trying to give him an opportunity. He was the punchline in the welterweight division. He's like the joke. And nobody was taking him seriously. Nobody even want to even have him on their resume, which is crazy. The motherfucker beat everybody he faced except one person. Can a lot of them say that? Boo Sinis, as great as he is, one day he gonna take a loss. Bud, as great as he is, possibly one day could take a loss. And I say possibly, yes, but one day he can. I prepare my mind for that. As great as Earl is, one day he possibly could take a loss. They all can. We will remember how great they were, right? But Keith is still young. They all are young. Keith, is he about the same age as Bud, or he in between Bud and Errol? I think in age. So he's still good to go. If he want to get some more dollars, we let Floyd do it. I can tell y'all, Floyd, I heard the rumors of Floyd having a fight coming up. I'm not paying for that one. Now, y'all know TBE. Floyd got all my money doing his, active career. Like, I really did pay. I bought merchandise, everything. But Floyd, this time, I'm going to hang up the gloves on you. I'm not buying your fight. I don't care who you fight. I'm not buying it. I'm not suggesting that nobody else buy it, but I'm not buying it. I'm done. You are retired, and I catch you on the rerun for the most part. So, I will be, I kind of feel bad for Keith Thurman. If people gonna boycott his fight, I feel bad for him. I really don't think he should fight on pay-per-view. I think he should just have a regular fight on Showtime or something. He been gone for a minute. But Keith could not come back into the ring, having been off all this long time with Earl or a damn Bud. He just couldn't do it. But now, Keith, this is where you be looking silly when you saying, Bud, wait 8 months or something, and then I get at you. Now, Keith, you be looking silly. This is, you give them fodder for why they don't like you. Why even speak on it? If you're coming back, come back, wax a couple of asses, and then call somebody out of note. But you putting the cart before the horse. I get it. You was a name. You was up there, but you fell off, and you know you did. Lynn Ray said we lost respect for Keith when he kept Dane clothes on the night before the biggest fights of his life, gambling and drinking all night. Adrian Broner was the voice of reasoning to go to sleep. You have to fight. Oh shit, I missed that one. But I met Keith Thurman. I met him. And when I tell you that motherfucker can eat, whew. PGH Big Dog, Queen T, salute. Salute to you too, King. Lynn Ray said, Queen T, apologize for typos, Dolly. It's cool. When I tell you he can eat, I met him in a food court at the Pacquiao and Floyd fight. This motherfucker was eating by itself. I'm going to say by itself, because that's what it looked like. That's what my eyes saw. One of them pieces that's bigger than your damn regular table that your table to sit for, like most people nowadays got like a countertop table, meaning that it's high up. People probably forgot back in the day, everybody's tables used to be really low, but now countertops became popular. So you got the high chairs and you got the high table, whatever. Imagine a table that seats 4, and then put a big box of pizza on there, like a pizza that could damn near cover that whole table. I saw him eat that shit by himself. I was staring like a motherfucker. Because I was like, I know that's motherfuckers Keith Thurman. The fight had let out, and I stood in the food court in the MGM. I was seeing everybody. I saw Juan Manuel Marquez. It seemed like he was walking with his own entourage and theme music. He had a camera on him. The light was on, but that boy can walk so goddamn fast. And I was like, I couldn't even get one, something out. He was walking that fast, and I just mosey on to the food court, and I was ordering me y'all know the food court at MGM. For those of you who've been out there, is that one stand where you get the steak. He had ordered a steak too. So that's the funny thing. I don't know where he got the pizza, but he somewhere in there they do serve pizza. That pizza was huge, the biggest one they had. And then he came. I was staring at him. I was waiting on my food, and I wanted to go over there, but I didn't know who he was with, and I didn't know if he was handling business. I just didn't want to come like and be a fish out of water. Lynn Ray say no respect for Floyd, gives no blacks payday. Fuck Floyd. Yeah, it's gonna be fuck Floyd this time around. I'm done, Floyd. I'm done. I'm tired of shit, Ike. I'm tired of your shit, Ike. But yeah, so he was eating a pizza, and then he came up because I was gonna get my food and then casually walk back there. But then he came up, and I was like, Keith, I've been looking for you all night. And he played along. He was like, I've been looking for you too. Let's get this picture, baby. And I was happy than Lord, y'all can't even know. I was happy than hell. I met Terrence Crawford that day too. That was the first day I met Terrence. I met a lot of boxers. Like you name them, I pretty much was meeting them. because that fight brought out everybody. And as he was standing there, they called his name first for his sandwich, and I pretty much had a sandwich just like him. And I was taking mine to my room because I had been up gambling. I saw the fight. I was like, shit, and I'm hungry as hell because that's all I was doing all day. So I got the I don't know, the large size steak and cheese, and he got the big one too, and he had all this stuff piled in. He went and sat at the table and ate. Now I was like, how in the hell is this man gonna eat this shit? And he wasn't that big. If I had to guess what he was walking around in, he was probably like, I gave him 156, 158 or something. He wasn't that big to me. Bigger than 147. He might have even been 160. But I ain't look at him and say, oh, you're a big dude. You know what I'm saying? But I said he could be. You know, he wasn't form fitting and like fight ready or nothing. Nowhere near it. He's a eater. He's a eater. And that's probably why he has stomach problems. Lynn Ray said, Queen, he's a slick talker. Don't allow his snake charm to captivate you. Nah, I mean, I feel you, Lynn Ray. Like I said, I feel Kyle too. I feel Kyle and the things that he say. I feel what a lot of people say. But let's look at real talk. Like, he only lost one fight. I'm a fan of the sport itself. You know, now he's not out there pillaging, robbing, talking crazy. He ain't doing no coon shit. He not doing a whole lot of shit outside the ring that I don't care about what a person do in their personal life until they do. You might hear me speak on some things because it bleeds over into the ring. Like cooning, you'll hear me talking about that because I can't stand cooning. This is one of my pet peeves. But he doesn't do any of that stuff to me. He doesn't do any of that stuff. He lost a fight. Y'all heard what Pacquiao said about him. He's like, I don't want to do that no more. Like he was a mess. He was hard to handle. He said, never been to Vegas. I'm in Buffalo. Oh, I know it's cold up there. New York farthest. I've been west is the DC. Queen 3. You've been west, Detroit, I guess. Yeah, the boy can eat, and Keith, I hope I hope now that you're married, because maybe your wife know how to eat better or cleaner. That's why people be having stomach problems, y'all, believe it or not. I've said this in my wellness show. If you clean your gut up, you won't have no more stomach problems. But you got to be willing to clean your gut up. But like I told you, that boy can eat. He can eat. He was eating that day. Every time I met Terrence Crawford, he was always in shape. Always. I met Riddick Bowe. I met Devin Alexander. I actually followed Devin Alexander on Facebook. He has a nice family and everything. But I'm going to support Keith. I'm going to support him because I failed to see what he did so wrong. I try not to get caught up in every little word. That's why I be preaching all the time this Spence and Bud talk and how toxic it is and everything. And I always find myself seeming like I'm defending Bud. And y'all know I'm a Bud fan. However, I'm telling y'all, Spence fans make it hard to keep me in line. They make it hard. I'm gonna tell y'all. Doll T, that's Thurman's skis. Hopefully you didn't fall for the slick talk. No, I heard it's not his talk. I mean, I heard his explanation, Lynn Ray. I feel what you're saying, but I heard his explanation. But can we honestly be mad at somebody for doing the same thing others are doing? Are we honestly at that point in boxing that we're going to be that blatant in our bias? Yes, he lost one fight, but he was up gambling and drinking the whole night before. No respect. You don't get it passed for that. You talking about during the Pacquiao fight? He might have been. I don't know anything about that, but he might have been. All I know is when Keith show up to the weigh-ins, he's on weight. And when he gets in a fight, he fights. Anything the man do beyond that, it's like, I mean, it's really on him. I try not to pocket watch. I can't tell nobody what to do with their career and this, that, and another. I can have suggestions or idea, or I say something like ideally this, that, and the other. But what a man do on his spare time is, I mean, I see what you're saying. You said Detroit, the D. I get it. I got a lot of friends from Detroit. Shout out to Detroit. If he was out there, faded and shit on the night before a big test, it's not smart. I'm an academic type person, believe it or not. And I used to look at people that be like, I'm like, why are you not studying? Why you didn't take this seriously? And then when all shit go bad, I just look at them and be like, should have taken it seriously. That's what I'm saying in my head, but I'm never gonna say it to them. A little studying would have cured all that. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying, a little rest would have cured all that. He was so positive he was gonna beat Pacquiao, and he was talking a lot of shit. He definitely left an impression on Pacquiao because Pacquiao said so. I don't want to do this no more. That was like Pacquiao pretty much saying Keith Thurman was one of the toughest fighters he ever had to face. So, in light of that, I could see me throwing away a fighter or being dismissive about a fighter who has several losses and clearly has shown a decline in that ring. But we haven't seen that yet. Lynn Ray said, Queen T, he disrespected the sport. I get it. Like I said, I feel y'all. Like I really don't have no defense as all the stuff he has. Is it me or everybody getting the cold? Because I've been getting the cold lately. But I don't have COVID. I be testing all the time. But yeah, I feel y'all when everything that you saying, Lynn Ray. I feel what Kyle say. I feel the frustration that Earl felt. The only thing I say, no matter how we feel about certain things that they're doing, that's emotion. That's emotion because we saying we feel. I'd rather judge him on what he do in the ring. That's the only way I can be fair and honest. The man shows up to his fights in shape. He gets in his fights. Queen T, yes, SDI. He shows up in shape to his fight. He gets in his fights, and he has won for the most part until he didn't. So I can't treat him like a second-rate fighter. I just can't. Now, what he do when the bell is over and he steps out that ring, and he's really on his own reconnaissance to do what he want to do. Now, when he do something that bleed into the ring, we'll speak on. But you are speaking on it when you say he hanging out the night before the fight. That just shows stupidity. That's kind of like, to me, the same thing, not making weight when you're supposed to show up on weight. That certainly declined him in some kind, or degraded him in some kind of way, because had he taken his ass to bed, like Adrian Broner suggested probably earlier during the night, then he probably would have washed Pacquiao, maybe in the fight he was tired. He got some bad habits. When you have them bad habits, they'll come out and bite you in the ass. That's everybody. Drinking, doing drugs, any of that stuff. Those are all bad habits. They will come back and bite you in the ass. Nobody's invincible. Lynn Ray said, yes, Adrian Broner confirmed it, that he was faded on the tables. AB picked him off the tables. Picked him off the tables. He did it to himself, and I bet you he regrets it. So now he has a more serious life. He's a married man, and and he has a baby. So we just have to see. We just have to see. I'm gonna give Keith the benefit of the doubt. I know a lot of you be like, fuck that, Miss T. You know, y'all would like Miss T to be, give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, you want people in the world that don't write you off right away, to give you just a little benefit of the doubt. Because sometimes things ain't always what it is. ITD. You want a person to be like that. That's just, I'm a compromiser. I am. Because I believe in compromise. I believe sometimes you can get the best of both worlds when you compromise. Now I do draw the line in the sand on some things. I know when to draw the line on certain things. Like I don't do the cheating. I don't care who you are. I don't compromise on that. When somebody asked me before, well, okay, if you don't like Canelo so much, what about Roy Jones? And fuck all of them who cheated. That's my final answer. Fuck all who cheats. Even if y'all came back and proved, y'all will have to prove that my favorite fighters were cheaters. You will have to really prove that. Because I don't see that. I don't see it in Earl. I don't see it in Bud. I don't see it in Deontay. And right, those are my top three. I don't see it. I like Isaac Cruz. Now I don't see it in him. I don't see it in Haney. I don't see it in Tank. I can go on. Shakur, Gary Russell Jr. It's a lot of people. I just don't see it in. I like better BF. I don't see it in him. You know what I'm saying? I don't like Canelo. I can wait all day on that name. But when you cheat, I'm done. I don't too much. I don't know what you would have to do to get me to come back into the fold on that one. That one I don't know. But I saved Keith Thurman for last. I know a lot of y'all don't agree. I appreciate y'all for listening to me. Listen, smash the like button and the subscribe button, if you haven't already. And remember, I come on at 7:30 every night, Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about review of the fights. I don't know if any fights are coming up this weekend. I probably review the fight schedule, but I always say, when you know better, you do better, and that's my mantra. I live by that, because even though I could think something, you guys could change my mind. My goal in life always to be fair, because I treat people like I want to be treated. I cannot stand unfair play. I don't like it at all. And I'm very vindictive when it comes to shit like that. Like I just can't stand it. I'll get you back. You cheat me out some shit, I'm gonna get you back. If it take me 20 years, I'm gonna get your ass back. So it's hard for me to forgive. I don't want to be a person who can't forgive, though. That's just me. And it does fall in line with my religious belief. You don't have to be what I am. I'm just telling you how I be thinking. So Miss T ain't a pushover. It's just like, I don't like to write people off. I don't do that for nobody. Business, personal, boxing, sports, whatever. You shouldn't want people around that always quick to write you off. And right now, I can't get on the write off Keith Thurman train. I ain't saying later that can't change, but right now, I don't see no daylight in what he did versus what people doing right now. Queen T, seriously, you riding with the mercenary kid. That's okay. I'm way over here. He in Florida. I'm way over here in Georgia. It's okay. I mean, I like how that dude fight. What can I say? What can I say? It's not the end of the world, Lynn. It's not the end of the world if I'm showing him a little favor or the benefit of the doubt. Quiet as kept. I be trying to ask this man for an interview all the time. He he hasn't responded. Like, I'm calling and asking all the time, but you know what? My favorite fighters don't call me back neither. So I don't take it personal or nothing. I would love to get Keith Thurman on here so he can speak his piece, and he will get to speak it in peace. But that's my goal. And now y'all know my goal, but maybe I'll get it done, maybe I won't. Remember, y'all tune in 7:30 tomorrow. Smash the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already. Tune in tomorrow at 7:30. We're gonna do grown woman talk. We got some interesting topics to talk about. It's the new year. We could get it popping. Queen T, don't block me, but Haney ain't it. I see. This is the beautiful part, Lynn, about being a compromiser to a certain extent. I am who God made me. Number one. And some people I hear people say, Miss T, that's the mama in you. I was born to be a mama. Okay. I embrace that title. I will not block you because you like Haney. I will not block you because you like Spence. If you have a difference of opinion of me, I will not block you. I'm not into that shit. We are independent thinkers. We can think what we want, people, don't we? Can't we? I've watched 452-year-old and Haney ain't special. With 452. Those numbers, the way you put them. Can you clarify? I think Gary Russell Jr. could beat Devin Haney. I don't say that Devin Haney washes T.O. I think that could be a 50-50 fight. I say it's fair for Devin Haney to get the title shot with Kambosos. That's what I say. It is fair. And to do it any other way is unfair. And that's the shit that would drive me up a wall. You know what I'm saying? Salute Queen T. Thanks for looking amazing. Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, so all opinions are welcome. I don't get upset because I'm one person. You don't have my brain. You don't see through my lens, and I don't see through yours. We all gonna have our difference of opinions. We can state our reasons, and sometimes we gotta be like, we'll agree to disagree, moving on, and then we'll say we'll see. Just like we them hot debates we had back in November leading up to the Porter fight. Remember those? And me and Coach G kept saying, we'll see. We'll see. And Coach G got tired of talking about it. He was like, we'll see. Because some people can go back and forth like that. And I don't knock them. That's their personality. It's fun to watch. And some people can't. I can't. I ain't going to say can't. But I'm not me when I do it. And I desire to be me. I'm a compromising, understanding person. I like logic and I listen to reason. You know, I'm about to start getting into this MMA stuff. DJ was supposed to come through. Hopefully I take y'all when y'all got the time or whatever. But Wednesdays is reserved for MMA talk or UFC. Y'all got to try to acclimate me into it. But that's going to be hard. It's too vulgar. That's what I used to always say years ago. But I'm older now. Maybe I can fucking take watching that show or watching them fight. It's just, it's a lot. But we'll see. And remember, like I said, y'all tune in tomorrow, 7:30. Smash the like button and the subscribe button on your way in and out. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. When you know better, you do better. Peace.